All right. Welcome, everybody. It's a lovely Thursday night in October. Tonight, we're talking about Hold My Spot. We're going to run through kind of the reasons behind Hold My Spot. We'll run through some demonstrations on how to use it, and hopefully, everyone will have a good idea, of the little tricks and tips and be able to use that for your local events. So, as all of these, I'm always going to start with a quote that feels relevant. And this one here, the best way to predict the future is to create it. And I thought that one was kind of interesting. Talking about, predicting the future and knowing who's coming to your events, right? You are going to create the event. You can create the Hold My Spot and then have people register and you'll be able to predict the future. So I thought that one was kind of funny, kind of fit that. Topics for today. We're going to go through a few slides here and then I'll jump over and do some demonstrations and we'll come back to the slides. So we'll start by, a quick introduction to Hold My Spot. What is it? We'll do talk about, enabling how to use Hold My Spot for your events. We'll look at how players will use the Hold My Spot function in the player app. We will then go back and look at your event and see how you manage those players that are pre-registered, whether they've maybe paid wallet or cash, and you can remove them. We will look at how we want to handle no-shows or people that cancel and opt out. We'll go over a couple of tips for best practices for directors, things that have been learned over the years. We'll look at the roll call page as well, talk about that, how that can be a really good tool for you. And then we will do a quick Q&A. So, all right, first one here. Quick introduction to Hold My Spot. Really, Hold My Spot's all about streamlining registration for local events. So one thing you can set capacity, you can manage check-ins for a few different types of events. The key is that they are local events. Right now, Hold My Spot is a local only option. And so if you're going to run a local swap, you're going to do a blind draw on a Tuesday night, maybe you're just going to run a doubles or a singles event. For local points, and you can use the Hold My Spot for all of those, where players can then pre-register. They can pay wallet if you allow it, or they can select cash, and they can opt in, they can opt out, and give you some options there. Now, enabling Hold My Spot, a couple things that people miss, so I want to highlight some of these and put these in bold, right? When you're in the event details, you're creating the event, or you've already created the event and you go into edit details, you're going to want to scroll all the way down to the very bottom. The Hold My Spot section's down there at the bottom, and there's a couple things that you have to select in order to enable it. The first one is you need to select whether it's open or closed. So Hold My Spot, there's a button for open and a button for closed. You've got to have that one open if you want people to access it. The next one that seems that people miss sometimes is you are required to select a maximum number of players. Now you can select zero meaning no maximum, or you can scroll down and select, 21, 32, kind of whatever player max you might have for that particular event. And then you also need to choose a payment type. That can be cash only, that could be wallet only, or it can be both cash and wallet. Now you have to select one of those three. So if you get those all filled out and you click save, that will enable Hold My Spot, and that will allow players to then use it. So I'm going to switch over to events here. All right, so here I am in my events. I have created an event for tonight, Hold My Spot tutorial. So I'm going to go to edit event details to show you the details here. I'll go ahead and make this a little bit larger. Okay. So if you scroll down to the bottom, all the way down here, you've got the Hold My Spot options. Now, like I said, you've got to select open if you want players to be able to access it. You've got to select a maximum number of teams. Like I said, you could put 0, which is for no max, or you can select a maximum for pre-registration. You have to select something here. Okay. And then you have to select a payment option, whether that option is cash only, wallet only, or cash or wallet. Okay. And then you're going to update your event. All right. Once you've got that, you can go over to the event dashboard here. And in your event, this is where you would see your players that pre-register using Hold My Spot. Okay. Jump back over to this one, and we will move over to how players use Hold My Spot. Okay. So players in the player app, they're going to go to locate the event by selecting ACL events, which is in the top left box of their player app. If needed, they will select some search parameters. If it's on their phone, it will auto locate to where they're at. If they're on a web browser or they want to make a selection further away from where they're at, they can set some parameters for the search, whether that's location, date, event type. Okay. They're going to navigate down to the event itself, and there will be a green button there, and that green button says Hold My Spot. They can click on that. That will take them into that event. Now, inside the event, if you've given them cash or wallet options, they can select there. If you've only selected one, that will be their only choice, whether that's cash or wallet. And then they'll hit the Hold My Spot button again, and they'll get a confirmation message saying that their spot has been reserved. So let's go ahead and take a look at that over here. Good. On my player app. There we go. Top left here, ACL events. This is where they're going to find your Hold My Spot options. Okay. This one has located to where I am at locally. If someone here is watching and they want to test this with me, you can just type in Portland. You can select the Portland from the drop down and click search. Okay. There's a lot of events Portland every week, so we're going to scroll down to this test one, the Hold My Spot tutorial. You can see this green button here, Hold My Spot. Players will go ahead and select that Hold My Spot button there. Now they're inside the event dashboard on the player side. They've got some options here. They can select cash. They can select digital wallet. I'll go ahead and select wallet. I've set this one to $1 per player. Go ahead and select Hold My Spot, and you get a confirmation message saying that your spot has been reserved. Simple as that. Okay. Now we'll talk about managing your pre-registered players. Okay. You'll be able to view the players list inside your event. That's on the Setup Bracket tab. And there's the Add Players tab section there. That's kind of the default that opens. You will be able to see if players use their wallet. You'll be able to see if players opted out. You will have an opportunity to refund players through that section there. And then you'll have a couple of checkboxes that you can control yourself, whether you want to mark them paid yourself as if they came in and paid cash, or you want to mark them checked in. And then simply if you just want to remove them from the event altogether. Okay. You can scroll up and down and see a full players list and view all of those players and their current status. Let's go back over to the event itself. Okay. All right, so I'm back in my event over here. Let's refresh my browser here. Scroll down and you can see, oh, there I am. I went and pre-registered, right, on my player app. You can see that I am already marked as paid, and I have a little wallet image here showing that I paid with my wallet. Okay. Now, if other people are pre-registering, they will pop up here as well. You can always just add players to the swap, right? Got my younger son here. Okay. Say that maybe Athena is going to come to the swap. We'll add Athena. add a couple more players here so you can. Okay, so we can imagine that, all these players may have pre-registered on their phone, right? Selected hold my spot, so you've got a list of players here. Okay. Now you can see again, I'm the one that paid with the wallet, and I'm marked paid. You can see, other ones here. I'm allowed to manage those players here, just like any other event. Okay. Now, let's see. I'm going to jump back over here real quick. Okay, we'll talk about how we want to handle maybe somebody that's a no-show. Okay. Now, from the player app and from the director portal, both have this black box display roll call. Okay, the roll call is a key feature in Hold My Spot for the directors and the players. So if you open the roll call, you can see what's going on here with the list of players that pre-registered for your event. And again, inside the player app, when they're in there, there's that black button that says view roll call right here. Players can also access that roll call from the player app, and they can see also who's pre-registered, what's going on with those players. Okay, so what I like to point out is that roll call works on a red timer. This red circle here next to the number of players up in the middle, that is the timer. Every time that circle fills up, it updates what may have happened in the previous 30 seconds. Okay, so you can see that I am marked as paid. I used my wallet for that, and everyone else here has no marks next to them. So let's go over back here. Let's go ahead and say that got people checking in real time in person. I got people paying me cash. Okay, and go back over to the roll call, and we'll let that timer circle through. It's about done there. All right, now the timer went through an auto update, so we can now see that some players are marked as checked in and paid. Some people are marked as only checked in, and then Jake here is not marked as either. Okay, so roll call is a key feature for Hold My Spot. It really allows you, and it allows the players to really see what's going on at that event. It gives them how much the event costs, gives them the start time of that event, how many players are in it, the director, the type of event, all that stuff. Okay. So now let's go over and manage some of these players. Okay. So let's say that Jake messaged you and Jake's like, oh, I'm not going to make it, right? You can just go ahead and use the green trash can button next to Jake. And now Jake is simply pulled out of the event. Going back over to Hold My Spot. We still see Jake there right now because that timer is not ran through. Okay. So once that timer runs through, we'll see Jake fall off the map there on that one. I'll give that here a moment. Now, if you don't want to wait, you can always go up to your browser and just hit the refresh button. That refreshes it right away. And that's now update, and we can see it's gone from 6 players to 5, and Jake has been pulled out. So, a really good tool there for players and directors to see what's going on. Now, what about a player that needs a refund, right? I paid with a wallet. It was $1. Now I can just simply click this black button here and refund that player. Now, it did not pull the player out of the event, but it did refund them. They're still sitting in the event, though. So you can see over here, once this updates right now, we can see that Michael Gonzalez, refresh here. Oh, that one's still stuck on marking paid. All right. Well, let's go ahead and pull me out. We'll go back over here. We'll update. Now we can see this is at 4, and I'm pulled out of the event. Now, going back to the player app, let's do this one more time here. I'm going to go back to that event since I pulled myself out. I'm going to hold my spot one more time real quick here. I'm going to do a cache this time. Hold my spot. My spot's reserved. Okay. Go back over to the directors page and manage the event here. And you can now see I'm in here. I'm not marked for either. Now, in the player app, when players go back to their home screen of the player app, the landing page, you can see they have the opportunity to check themselves in right here on the top, and they have the opportunity to opt out. So I'm going to go ahead and opt out. Okay. Gonna confirm that I want to opt out. So yes, please opt me out of the event. It'll now show a red um, button here showing that I am opted out on my player app. Now let's go back over to the roll call, and you can see that's updated and now it has a red box circled around my name showing that I have opted out. Okay, so that's a good key indicator for directors and players that I'm not coming to the event. All right, go back over to the admin portal on the event dashboard, and I can scroll down and see that Michael Gonzalez has officially opted out. Got a red box there. So when someone opts out of my event, I just simply hit the trash can and pull them out. All right. So, pretty easy and pretty functional, really, for both directors and players. Um, I think the roll call, like I said, is a key tool for players and directors in this to see what's going on. And it's just a matter of getting it set up correctly as a director to be able to utilize that for yourself and for your players. Um, so I go ahead, once I pulled myself out of the event, if I go back over my player app, I can then see that that is removed off the top. So it's clear that I'm no longer in that event. So for this test event, I'm going to go ahead and remove everybody. Now there's no players in the event. Go ahead and mark it inactive, and yeah, that's not a live event any longer. Okay, go back over to my slides here. Again, went through all the options there, how you can manage those pre-registered players. Okay, we talked about how we can handle cancellations and no-shows, showing that whether they've checked in or opted out. Some best practices, okay? I think a couple of things here. Encouraging early registrations using Hold My Spot really can help build attendance and build participation. Players always want to know who's coming, how many people are coming, and if they see that, or if they don't know anyone's coming, they might lean towards not coming themselves. So, encouraging early registration is key for Hold My Spot. One thing that does pop up for players when they go to their player app and they click ACL events and is trying to use their location, they get a notification saying the user's denied location. Okay. Now we have a couple graphics available for directors to help players with an iPhone or with an Android clear that location denied. So make sure your players have that cleared. Okay. One thing that I've ran into in the past and other directors have ran into that I've talked to is if you are offering wallet payments, but you plan to pay out cash at the end of the night, that's totally fine. Just make sure that you have enough cash on hand. Okay. Say you have like 24 players and maybe 8 of those players decided to pay with wallet. Now you may not have enough cash at the end of the night to pay out cash to all your podium winners. So just kind of manage that. If you know that you're allowing wallet payments and you're going to pay out cash at the end of the night, just make sure you have enough cash. Or you can also ask those winners, hey, if you don't mind, I'll pay out, first place with wallet or pay out second place with wallet prizes. And then other people with cash. So you get a kind of a good mix there. And then share your roll call link. That can be shared on social media. That can be shared via email. Players can access that right from their player app. They can open the roll call link themselves. So it's an opportunity for you to teach your players about roll call, sending it or sharing it on social media, whether that's on Facebook or putting that link in Instagram. That works. Players can click right on that directly, and they can see who's coming to your event right there from social media. So that's a really good tool. I've used that for events. I've had 128 player local blind draws and used roll call and Hold My Spot for the whole thing. When we run the sit and goes at the ACL Opens and at the signature events, we do all of those with Hold My Spot. They fill up very quickly. Sometimes we will announce on the overhead a sit and go, right? We have a 16 player max. We do wallet only, no cash allowed. Some of those will fill up with Hold My Spot within 30 seconds. They will literally just fill right up. And it's a really good tool. Players can see who's registered for that particular sit and go. Maybe they see Tony Smith in there. Maybe they see, Logan Chamberlain in there and they want to jump in quickly, right? It's a really good tool. It allows people to see what's going on. So, yeah, roll call is a big one. We use it at the Opens. I use it locally. You can see a lot of people in my local areas. We went through that list there in the player app. Back here to my local area, you can see that we have a lot of events nearby every week. We have Hold My Spot here, 60 miles away from me. We have one 20 miles away from me tonight, and we have one tomorrow night. We have two of them tomorrow night, three of them tomorrow night. Okay, then we have a Sunday. All of these directors around me are using Hold My Spot. So, really good tool for directors and for players to see what's going on. All right, next up, Q&A. If we have a couple people in here watching live, anyone has some questions about Hold My Spot, please let me know. Again, feel free to reach out to me personally. I still have calendar times available for one-on-one sessions. If you want to walk through some of these ideas that we're talking about on a 1v1 session, you can certainly sign up to register for a calendar spot with me. Done, I think, about 25 of those in the last couple of weeks. They've been super fun, super helpful for me. I feel like had a good opportunity to meet some directors that I had never met before, talk with some directors that I already know, and kind of help get everyone on the same page and make sure that we can all run the best events possible. So, no questions coming in. Just want to say thanks everybody for watching. I appreciate everyone's willingness to learn and everyone's willingness to try new things. And I think Hold My Spot and using the roll call link can be a very valuable tool for you as the director and for your players. So thank you, and have a great weekend.